I'm sure you're familiar with some of the reputation of some of the Caribbean islands as it comes to, that fight for justice and ending prohibition, especially Jamaica, where you'll be in a few weeks. What do you think of the potential of the Caribbean cannabis industry? The Caribbean islands are sort of trying to find their space in the global industry. In your opinion, where should the Caribbean market place some of their focus on?
I think what's interesting about the Caribbean market and what people in the United States don't always understand is that cannabis is so heavily connected to the culture of the Caribbean. And so the way you can get them to understand, the way you can get people here to understand the necessity of finding their space in the global industry is when you acknowledge what the culture is, when you acknowledge the religious impacts, when you acknowledge the Rastafarian community, when you acknowledge the impact that women have had on this plant and its healing properties and all of those things that have been passed down from mama to auntie to grandma to like all of those things that are unique to us. I find it very, it's exciting to know that there are people that are intentionally looking at reclaiming their place. It's a lot like when I talk to people from indigenous communities throughout the United States. And when they describe cannabis, they talk about it as this is a reclamation of our plant medicine. We're not new to this. You may be new to this. Western culture may be new to this, but we're not new to this. And I'm very, very attracted to that phrase, a reclamation of our plant knowledge, of our plant history, of our plant culture, of our all of those things. It is absolutely time for the Caribbean to take its rightful place in that larger conversation. And because each of the population centers in each Caribbean country they're not population powerhouses, it's going to require an ability to work together as a region. And I don't, outside of hospitality and tourism, this is a really big frontier to do. Places where it's better to grow, places where it's better to manufacture, research institutions, like it really has an opportunity to grow sectors within the Caribbean that people really didn't realize they were there. There are universities and research and professors and doctors and medical professionals and all kinds of, this is not just about whether you get off a cruise ship and get all of the, cartoon-like caricatures of what cannabis culture is. There is a whole wide culture around this that is not very different from coffee or tea or cigars. Like there's an amazing potential here, especially if it can be, if the Caribbean can utilize the power of its convening